Good afternoon, all of you. I am Professor Chavan Vidi from Rayit Shikshan Sanस्थाs, Karmeur Bhaurav Patel, Institute of Management Studies and Research, Varai, Satara. Today, we are going to discuss about tile sheets. What is CSS? The full form of CSS is Cascading Tile Sheet. Contains the rules for the representation of the HTML. Means combination of the HTML and CSS is equal to create the web page. CSS was introduced to keep the presentation information separate from the HTML markup content. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Tile Sheet. Typical CSS file is the text file with an extension .css and contains the series of the commands or rules. These rules tell the HTML how to display. To create the style sheet, create the file using the notepad or text edit, save it as the .css document and start writing the CSS code. And who started the CSS code and save this file and .css file is linked to HTML for the displaying HTML code is better way or provide the style to the HTML file. CSS benefits separate structure from the presentation, provide the advanced control of the presentation, easy maintenance of the multiple pages, faster page loading, better accessibility for disabled users, easy to learn. These are the different benefits of the CSS. HTML without CSS. HTML without CSS is like a piece of candy without a pretty wrapper. Without CSS, HTML elements typically flow from the top to bottom of the page and position themselves to the left by default. With CSS help, we can create the container or division to better the organized content and make a web page visually appealing. Any modification in the design of the website was a very difficult and boring task as it involves the manually editing every HTML page. HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS work together to produce the beautiful and functional websites. In HTML code, we can use the CSS file to link the CSS file in HTML for the provide the styling in HTML's code. HTML is equal to structure and CSS is equal to style. Means provide the through HTML provide the structure and through CSS provide the style. The box model. CSS work on the box model. A typical web page consists of the many boxes joined together from top to bottom. These boxes can be stacked, nested and can float. Header navigation content footer. We can use the styling through the CSS in this box model or a CSS code is work in the box model. Cascading tile sheets. What is CSS or what is cascading tile sheet? Cascading tile sheet is the style sheet language used to describe the presentation semantics, that is the look and formatting of the document written in the markup language. It is most common application is to style web pages written in the HTML and XHTML, but the language can also be applied to any kind of XML document including the SVG and XUVL. CSS is designed primarily to enable the separation of the document content written in HTML or similar markup language from the document presentation, including the elements such as the layouts, colors, fonts. The separation can improve the content accessibility, provide the more flexibility and control in the specification of the presentation characteristics, enable the multiple pages to share the formatting and reduce the complexity and repetition in the structural content such as the allowing for the tables web design. CSS can also allow the same markup page to be presented in the different styles for the different rendering methods such as the on-screen, in print, by voice, when read out by the speech-based browser or screen reader, and on the braille based tactical devices. When the author of the document typically link that document to the CSS style sheet, readers can use the different style sheet, perhaps one on their own computer, to override the one the author has specified. Styles solve a big problem. Styles solve a big problem. HTML was the never intended to contain text for the formatting the document. HTML was intended to define the content of the document like this is the heading tag, different heading H1 to H6. This heading tags used or P for in angle bracket P for this tag is used for the paragraph means starting tag is the in angle bracket P words are used and closing tag is the slash P tag is used. When tags like font and color attributes were added to the HTML 3.2 specification, it started the nightmare for the web developers. Development of the large websites where the font and color information were added to every single page become a long and expensive process. To solve this problem, the World Wide Web Consortium W3 School created the CSS. In HTML 4.0, all the formatting could be removed from the HTML document and stored in the separate CSS file. Allow the browsers support the CSS today. CSS saves a lot of work. CSS defines how the HTML elements are to be displayed. Styles are normally saved in the external .css file. An external style sheet enabled to your change appearance and layout of your pages in the website just by editing one single file.